commercials with whack acting from commercial to action. I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon, cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society, where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying spree. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel, can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion, so please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late or hollow years, see the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective, decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace, where each one teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L, I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little star, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too. To link you to source, yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They want to extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, no oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descending unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. Akichiwa. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This is a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Sun store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors, Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. I expect more from those who want to conquest except war. They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcia in Brooklyn, projects and hoods when we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Arlie Cushion, it's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shocking sheriff meeting. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this canonical. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Plant in the devil to stand the weather. Sound strong, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. Based on real life. It's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. Nothing like the old school. This goes way back before I was knee deep out in them streets, gangling. Prison and that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out. I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise, eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my old lows and my newly heights. Childhood, not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was mad, that's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fend off the jinn's whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us from the Pontius Pilates, Heras, and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the cost of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, chemistry sets, books, maps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watch my uncles create music, so I beat drums, play keyboards with my dad. The guitar he strummed, didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True story. This is based on real life. Before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, what it feels like. True story. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations. Now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world off the porch. Yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stage. Looked at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz, Muhammad, and Phil G. When I met her on 93rd, next Jeffrey Manor, master of all crews, was written on my banner. The manner of my approach. Yo, I rocked her. World with backspins, atomic flares, and helicopters, hella proper. Guys that were awesome, tried to get fresh. Up at Basma and on commercial, attempted to test our bus moves on linoleum. Loved her on cardboard, roughed it off on concrete with combinations I had stored. Poured my heart into her around the time I met Dula, Yusef, Rashi, Stony Island Park, CVS, school, the battleground, found passion. Another element turned my heart into graffiti, evidence of being present. Tigers united together, network of writers who most times put all-nighters. True riders, 1987, we were kings of the line. Won the epic war with Sass on the dead rhyme. My guys, Dickie, Tron, advanced planes have advantage. I do this for you and the true TUC claim it's the bandits. True story, it's based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within.
He's not lying, listen.
No, I'm gonna keep it going. He's not lying, is he?
High vibrations. That's what it feels like. True story, based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life.
Hey, Papa.
High vibrations is what it feels like.
Man, hot. Yeah. What's up, Papa? Yes, my Papa. Is it good? You want to play, don't you? Yeah, but you want to fight the other cats, bro. Can't be fighting the other cats, man. Like you're a young bully or something. Where you get that energy from?
Let's clear this up.
I ain't no
I
bull.
am the great matriarchs give to America. Rare, uncut, sun complected, yet the wretched of the earth. Though my old blood's been just something shut the most rejected. Nevertheless, check the record of my birth. Never read a book for knowledge of myself. The silence I felt, not from wildness of wealth, but from rawness of my breath. I received meditatively. My mother and father educated me. I often think creatively. I've walked through a few schools of thought that truth is God. It has no cause, yet the cause of everything.
What's up, Lord? John, new baby, what's going on?
These words Timothy didn't write, that didn't quite shit well. We're the king of y'all when it comes to fiction, hell. Truth is stranger, y'all. I came to y'all the grain of fault of a government.
Oh, my brother, I said Nelly. How you doing? Nowski, Akim. I hope ToLU'S is back in the studio. And Max B, Ocelot. I hope they're back putting something together. DJ got a lot of stuff out there. I can't play a lot because even though he mixing to some music, like I had to go back and change the music because the copyright, because certain music belong to other people. So, but there are some that I play because you know he really hooked it up. Excuse me. The first one I had it up for like 45 minutes. I was like, wow. And I know I beat the algorithm, right? Changed it back. That says when you talk about certain things, they have an issue. Not that I care, because that's the reason why I did the little side by side with the sister with the young lady. I'm not in the crayon colors. Talking about Admiral C or Admiralty laws. They don't apply here. Everything that they do, talking about Warner Brothers and all the fake, you know, who owns the companies, right? I just don't feel like saying it, giving it energy. Everything they're doing is illegal. And you got to remember Rothschild, right? When he had the oil company running it, and they forced him, and he left this country for a moment, because they broke it all up into many different owners, but it was still the same people. That's when he decided to take the medicine and create petroleum-based medicine and plastics. When plastic started to become a thing out of rubber and petroleum, they started to make synthetic things to cut you off further from the land. You know, I give props to my brothers in Haiti who's going through a whole lot of bull crap, who helped South America, all right, help them. And in France, even though I still would have loved being a legionnaire as far as the governments, because they're all the same people. I want to read these to you. This is from my tea today. Serve all in truth, in compassion, and in grace. You know the word, we know what grace, but we're going to utilize it as they want people to take it. We create. Love is the ultimate law of life. It is. There's only one kind. May your head and heart speak with one voice. I was watching this documentary, and so I was looking for it again on Boko Haram, and they got new ones up. And you see the individuals in charge. This is a nutcase. You know, you think about the women, and then with Michael, or Obama's, you know, whatever, and all the so-called movie stars and so talking about bring our girls back. Like, please, you know, this is the hypocrisy of it all. Right now in Palestine, they say 30 Gujars were murdered, right? You know how many babies and young children, 4, 6, 2 and 3 and younger, have been killed? There is nothing right about what's going on. The Palestinians are supposed to fight them, because if anybody knew the truth about 1948 and the soldiers who laugh and joke about it, why has nobody went over there to help Palestine? Because fake white supremacy still exists, and it's the lower levels of the light-skinned stupidity. I watched this again to speak on this idiot. This I would say Aryan Front or whatever you want to call it. That whole thing, that whole discussion held with this idiot shows how stupid so many of them are. But yet I know he did things because it was funny to him. When you're dealing with a certain group of individuals who are sociopaths, okay, and they're so busy playing on yours, people have a hard time dealing with the deeper understandings because they don't. Like right now, you have all these groups forming up in these liberal cities in the melanated neighborhoods. You don't see them in the pale skin neighborhood or the so-called rich Negroes. Okay? And they're forming gangs. It's not like they didn't exist before. They're raping children and girls and, I mean, come on. That's why I'm so proud of Connecticut, and a couple of other states are falling in lieu, and they don't care about no fake gun laws because, first of all, NFA doesn't apply to this land. ATF doesn't apply to this land. None of it do. But see, because most of the people are ignorant, they're going to say, look, CRS is still locked up. Why? When it's political. There's nothing lawful about it because the court system is a monetary system. It's a fraud. But because nobody knows this and people don't join together, still holding, and I'm going to say this really for the last time, you're holding on to a remnant of your disease and you choose not to free yourself from it. So the big talk, the TikTok, Biden's talking about, who gives a damn of what that fraud or whatever that thing is going to ban TikTok? Why? Because the Chinese have enough information on you? It isn't like this fake ass CIA and all these other alphabet goofy groups. And I don't like giving an energy because y'all don't really know about cults and how things work. I'm not here to be lucrative in that discussion. But the foolish ploy is that they continue as if it's going to work out. And I'm here for those of them that are listening. It is not. It doesn't matter who wears your skin. The essence of you is, first look up with the word essence. Don't worry, I'm going to read too. Because I'm just getting tired of all the slothfulness, the laziness. It's beyond reconciliation. I cannot reconcile with it. Seriously, I can't. So today is, as far as what the dictionary of today says, the intrinsic, before I go any further than that, intrinsic, adjective, intrinsic, belonging to the essential nature of constitution of a thing. And then there's other descriptions if you want to look up Hindi or Arabic or whatever. Anyway, the intrinsic nature of indispensable. Absolutely necessary, essential, an indispensable member of the staff, per se, in a sentence, not subject to being set aside or neglected. So essence, or neglected, or set aside, right? So the intrinsic nature of indispensable quality of something, especially something abstract, that determines its character. Essence. You see everything going on. This is bottom line. And yet you want to hold on to the essence of something that really doesn't exist there. Ted Bundy believed in what he was doing. It's not a fact of really belief. It's knowing. Many of them, Ed Gaines, all of them. All right, there's a plethora of them. Some of them want to be caught. Some of them want to tease you. The Zodiac Killer. Come on. The Unabomber. Zelensky. We can go on and on and on. Okay? And the ones out there now. They've always been in front of you. And yet there are some who are not bloodletters. The serial killing can be something that is to keep you in a state knowing exactly well you don't want to be there. And it's a foolish narrative of control. Just like right now. People are running around with fake identities and a knowledge of self without knowing the truth of history. That's why I can't hate these individuals. Yet the confusion is heavy. And when you have melanated people in Chicago and all these places who cannot express this unless they want to do it in religion, well, we want to go back to what Master Farad did. He was a big ploy in it, a government agent who came at the time when hostilities were still raw. And he was able to subjugate those who were behind the walls of lockup. You see what I'm saying? Who came out and say, this is another way. But it can also be used as this 41 to 42 identities and no real history of a man that just all of a sudden disappears. And yet people still hold on to religion. I'm not saying not to. I watched this individual who was well grafted in Bohemian Grove and everything that's going on, the control, who talks about the magic behind 369. Is there a truth to it? Or is it a perversion? And yet he expressed at the end of his narrative, pointing these things out, how the numbers are something for tracking. Also allude to the fact at the end of his story, but Jesus Christ is what I found. Is that to grab you in, to be the quadruple agent? To implore that you worship and believe in this? Abstractly, am I saying that not to? I am saying to be brighter and wiser than the rest. Told you I'm not here for the majority. I know good and well the numbers I should have is well over the mark. So I could have been told this story and been done with it. But they want to drag it on as if they're going to get some kind of secret message. They'll never be able to get it. Never. Just the warnings. That's it. And most people don't hear or take heed to warnings. We had a young lady named Shonda Anderson and her son. I miss her deeply. Wonderful sister. Me and her chatted quite often. Even after getting away, she had to go back. And the individual was shifty, like most cats over there where I lived. Didn't really know him, don't want to know him, heard many that did. Ran a club or some sort. I mean, he murdered his son and then he murdered her. This is all too common. And then people expect everything to remain the same. How can it? And then when you make the final decisions in your life, it doesn't oscillate right. It's the high peaks and then the very lows. The high peaks. When you go to a peak and it starts teetering down, that means there's something wrong. It doesn't mean that I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to work it out and make it better. You know, an ex-special force buddy of mine said he watched it. He'll watch this probably later. But much respect, brother. And he's like, he loves what I said the other day. And I says, it's not hitting at the brothers. It's saying that most of them accomplish something that the majority can't, but it does not make them smart. It doesn't make them the brightest wills. It means that in the system and narrative, because of the people they parlay with, who want to attain, not the ones who commit suicide or get caught up in the agendas and everything else. Well, these are agendas. They could be so much more practical. You know, I'm friends on Instagram with Beck. You know, the chief who said CIA, he went through Navy SEAL, went through sex change. We and him have chatted numerous times. He's got a wonderful wife. He went back to be himself. I didn't ask him about his bottom, if he had surgery or not. It's none of my business. He's a Christian. He does sermons and everything. Yet he went through a lot, like many of them do. And you would take it upon yourself that compassion and love is very important. You could look beyond the things. I would not say look beyond the agendas. I'm not saying run to religion when most of the individuals pushing it are based on theology, which is from the theosophy. That's why I always ask people to really search things out. Now, who were the first group of people to wake up? Actually, weren't really all that asleep. It was our people. Nobody else woke up, nothing. They saw Miss Jane, what's the name, teaching, you know, the presidents and the 13. That was all lies. They weren't even presidents back then. They were kings. They were part of the royalty, whitewashed, George Orwellian factor. So you have Jane Elliott. Then you have a few more. You have Santos Bonacci. You have a few. There's a whole bunch of them. You have good guys. You have the Italians sitting around, niggas, Indians, same thing. Look, may he rest in peace. There's a plethora of individuals, and then those of us who have our families that make sure we knew who we were. But you have a system still cooperating with the perverse. They have a spell over them. Ain't nothing I can do for that. I'm not attempting to lift anything. I'm not attempting to say certain words or anything. I'm the person who always walks around saying, leave me alone. I wouldn't even be doing this. They're hard-headed. But do you have to be as hard-headed? It's going to get worse. You think it's not? They're building an army, y'all. To clean up the riffraff. They're well-conditioned. They see the ugly. They see all this stuff. Y'all don't know what pain and suffering really is. Our people are more close to it, but there's a reason. If the enemy was smart, he would have made sure that we had everything. We would have been blind to it. But they're so stupid. And you need to know this is practical. It's not theory. This is a fact. I'm giving some teeth to even the enemy. Oh, they probably calculated. Oh, please. If they can't make you in a petri dish, solidified 100%, they don't know nothing. All they know is how to deconstruct. Everything that's out there is reverse engineered. You just don't know the magnitude of it. I'm getting real tired of saying these things. Some will say, oh, you're being selfish. Am I? Well, yeah, of course I am. I actually know me. You know what? I respect an honest enemy more than I do a fool that lies to themselves. Calling themselves their friend or your friend. Themselves a friend or a friend. I respect an honest enemy more than I do most people are sitting there going, brother, sister. I really do. They make every excuse on the book to prolong their captivity or their stress. And I know, oh, well, you know, I'm doing all these things and I'm elevating, I'm rising. You fucking rise. When are you going to start ascending? I'd rather see you walking down the street and gone like a bolt of light. I wouldn't say nothing to nobody. Oh, where's so-and-so? He better than you. That's probably all I would say. Let's go ahead and get into this reading. I hope y'all starting to get the message instead of lagging behind yourself. Because I get real tired of this. I really, really do. And I'm very selfish. In a platonic, plurally now, in a platonic relationship I have with myself. And I always say, if you're going to do something, you're going to talk about something. I mean, if you're going to talk about something or express, then you should be actually moving that way and walking in that light. All right. Exposing Expositions, 1851 of 1915. This is the revised 2021 from his 2019 by Howdy Mikowski. As you know, it's a Court of Honors in Chicago. Okay. We'll start up with that, and then we'll get into heaven burials. So I'm not going to read a whole lot. I know I said that yesterday, and I got all carried away, but it is what it is. So today we're in fires. The fires. I guess this will explain was it a fire even? You know, we've already looked at trees and poles, all kind of things still standing in these great cities. It's like what you look at these fires now. Everything blue and every one of them still there. From Orange, California, to Maui, to Ecuador, and a couple other places they're not really talking about. And then you see the trees right next to the road where the roaring fire was, unscathed, untouched. You can't make this stuff up, people. Fires. No World's Fair can be complete without fires destroying many of the buildings, and Chicago is no exception. The first fire took place during the fair in the cold storage building on July 17th, 1893. This building was basically a giant refrigerator to keep cold all the meat that was being used in the fair's restaurants. Sound familiar? It was so large that the middle was able to be turned into a giant skating rink, perhaps the first such indoor rink in the world. The building required a 200-foot iron chimney to run the refrigeration units, but designers believed that the smokestack would clash with the fair's other buildings. Remember, we created the elevator, the refrigeration on a truck we invented. Anyway, believed that the smokestack would clash with the fair's other buildings. To remedy this, a wooden tower topped with a decorative cupola was built around the chimney that made it a fire hazard. When the fire broke out, it was quickly put out by firefighters. On July 10th, a new fire, much larger, broke out. 20 firefighters responded. Due to the great amount of smoke, they were forced to climb to the top of the tower and became trapped. With no other option, as the tower was seconds away from burning down, a few were able to slide down burning fire hoses and ropes safely. 13 remained trapped, and most jumped to their deaths in front of the thousands of witnesses of the fair. An estimated 50,000 fairgoers witnessed the fire, some with a bird's eye view from the top of the Ferris wheel. Initially, the crowd was cheering on the firefighters, but they soon fell silent as they jumped. The fire department later reported, "Never was so terrible a tragedy witnessed by such a sea of agonized faces." Occult members don't care about who they kill, if it's for an agenda, even if they don't know what the agenda is. It's the fact that they believe in sex magic and other things and have spells and inoculations and all that, put over them. The first fire following the end of the exposition came in January 1894, 3 months after the fair had ended. Thousands may have witnessed this fire as well. At least it seems that way from the standard historical sources. However, Bancroft's book lists 2 fires happening in 1894, this one in January and another in June. I have found no other source that present there being 2 fires, only the one in January. What Bancroft provides as information for 2 fires gets combined by history to one event. What does seem certain is that in January, the entire court of honor and many of the buildings around it went up in flames. The fire started at the casino, destroyed that building, then swept northward along the peristyle into Music Hall. From there, it ran across and into the manufacturer's building. For 3 hours, the flames raged along the past end of the court of honor until nothing was left but charred timbers and blackened plaster. A shower of sparks fell upon the ice and the lagoon until it looked like a sea of fire. They fell upon the adjacent buildings, threatening them with destruction. It was a magnificent spectacle that drew ceaseless exclamations of wonder and awe from the spectators that crowded the grounds in the vicinity of the fire. It was the greatest pyrotechnic display of the fair. The cause of the blaze was claimed to be tramps who had been hanging around the fair after it had closed down. That's like, it's a coincidence that the babushka lady was actually the Rothschild sister, right there with a camera, protected by certain agents when Kennedy was assassinated, smiling as she walked away. Now imagine if we didn't have all the dumb racists running around the world and all the people that believe in ethnicity, races, and all this other goofy stuff, and still don't know the truth of who we are. Because the very people who created all this problem are the very people who lie about who we are. And then create fake identities, races, ethnicities, religions, and then put everybody against us. And that's pretty low. It's not going to stop nothing. When you have to export that kind of energy, that should paint a pretty strong picture of who you are. And if they were wise, they'd pay attention to and be like, wait a minute, that kind of makes sense. But it's impossible because they have to make sure in a deplorative state that many of them suffer as well to elude from the reality of the truth of why everybody's suffering. Imagine if everybody in the world started to protect us knowing the truth, the identity frauds, the theft, the fact that we've been loving to everybody. I could show you 4 or 5 videos of brothers going to protect Spanish people. I don't matter what ethnicity or race, but I'm going to say Spanish speaking children were being bullied in the schools. And it goes on and on. But the prison system, which is a fraud created by the very enemy that puts people in those positions to do the dumb things they do because they break families up. No, we're not breaking. Did we break families up to create this? And then these fake jesters. My godmother, Aunt Shirley, Ohio, was one of the top judges, retired for a while. And to have the nerve to believe that what she was doing was righteous. For a living? To better a family when all can come crumbling down around them and they all be subjugated to the same torment and tortures and everything else? I'm not giving energy. I'm posing a responsible question at the outlook of certain things. So everybody realizes they do a lot and they realize that they do it in vain. Vanity. Heaven Bearers, The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. Oh, Slot, Max V. What's going on, beloveds? What's cracking? Oh, I got y'all's attention. Excellent. So, this is The Great Reset of 1834 and the Mud Flood by Janine Helen. Okay. Y'all know, I'm going to show her South Africa. That's her in South Africa. I told y'all to go and look at this. She is actually showing what most people won't pay attention to. That's the most beautiful thing. Now, let's take it right from the grip. Mother is shouting and crying in the vision, and she can't catch her breath. She is hysterical and worried, and her hands are shaking with panic. There is something wrong with her. Her eyes change color. She can read my memories. I can feel it. She shouts at her husband in absolute horror. This is what she states. You are overreacting, Mira. She is a baby, our baby. She is no different to her sister sitting in the next room. You need to stop this now. This isn't healthy for anyone. He replies, trying his very best to calm the situation. No, that baby, she is evil. I can't bear to look at her. This is the mother. The tears have stopped and her eyes turn cold and all the love that was in them disappears. This is Bonnie. Father tries to touch her face, but she smacks his hand away. Don't touch me. She wipes her hand over her wet face and looks at him deeply into his eyes. Her eyes are burning with hatred, and she grabs onto his arm. We need to get rid of her. We need to do something before people start to notice what she is. The expression on her face is stern and serious, and he can't believe she is willing to abandon her child. I will take the child. I will not let you get rid of her. Mother Nature will never forgive you if you do this. I will never forgive you for this myself. He snaps. His eyes are filled with tears and pain as she has made him choose between her and his daughter. He closes his eyes and realizes the decision is, in fact, an easy one. He takes her hand off of his, turns his back on her, and walks away to check on Bonnie. She is lying in her crib, and she is staring at the ceiling. Her eyes are golden in color, and it seems like she is watching something up there. She is giggling, and he looks up at the ceiling, but he can't see anything, and his heart is filled with love for her. He rubs her little cheek and vows to take care of her, no matter what. Bonnie hears little feet walking away, and the memory goes blank. She is saddened by what she just learned, and she doesn't know what to make of it. After all this time, she thought her mother loved her dearly, and all she ever wanted, wished and hoped for, was to see her mother again. Just one more time. She used to think and feel so stupid suddenly. It was her father that loved her unconditionally, not her mother. We need to head back. I need to check on my children, she says suddenly and realizes that it is snowing a lot harder now. You have children? As in children with that? She catches herself. You have human children? Cassidy is surprised by this news. The prophecy says you would be pregnant, but that it would be Cassiel's child. She replies and emphasizes the singular aspect of the word child. She proceeds to get up slowly and pulls a confused face. The prophecy seems to have gotten many things wrong, or I am not the one. Bonnie replies and starts to walk back to the settlement. Cassidy sticks out her tongue to taste a bit of the snow and mumbles softly as she watches her walk away. No, I know you are the one, sister. Malcolm is waiting for her inside a little cave that they had prepared as best as they could for them, on the far right-hand side of the camp. It is quiet out here in private. Bonnie is grateful for the privacy. There is thin mattresses on the floor made out of some kind of thin plant or bark. She isn't sure, and a warm blanket made from different items of clothing sewn together. This is a far cry from the mansion and what you were able to provide for me, she pouts and gives out a slight sigh. This place is depressing and it is always snowing. I am amazed that they found a way to feed so many people. She lays down next to him and snuggles up to him. I am very glad you are here with me. My life would be worthless without you in it, Malcolm. He plays with her hair and looks over at their children and can't help but feel the same as she does. I don't like feeling, Bonnie. What have you done to me? He asks her softly and means every word that comes out of his mouth. He's full of emotions and feelings. Nothing, Malcolm. You are always capable of emotions. I just needed to show you how to access them, and so I did. She gives him a long and drawn-out kiss and breathes him in. I think we should get some rest. I am exhausted, she says as she closes her eyes tight and places her hand softly onto his chest. Bonnie sleeps solidly until her body is fully rested. Emil and Amelia are quiet and content as they wait for their mother to wake up before they start to crave her attention. They don't cry or get anxious or even restless. They don't need to cry. Bonnie wakes up and looks over at them. Good morning, my baby, she says, and sits up with fright. Once she realizes something is wrong with them, she rubs her eyes, thinking she only imagined what she just saw, and her heart is racing. She looks back over at them, and she is speechless and perplexed. Malcolm, sweetheart, she calls with a broken voice. He noticed there is panic and worry in it and can't imagine what could be wrong. Malcolm, please come here, she shouts more firmly. There is a shadow at the entrance of the cave, and she can feel the freezing cold air come inside as he enters. Something is very wrong with our children, she says, and he can see her hands are trembling and her face is pale white. He walks up closer and dusts off the snow from his hair and shoulder, not taking her particularly that serious. What is the problem? Let us have a little look. He pauses and stares at Emil and Amelia in utter amazement. He closes his eyes and opens them again and is completely bewildered by what is sitting in front of him. How is this possible? He asks, and he tries to make sense of what he is saying. I have no idea, but I am not merely saying things, am I? She asks. No. He bends down and strokes Emil on his cheek. Is there something about this in the prophecy, he asks, and looks back at her. I don't know, she shakes her head. To be honest, I am not sure there's such a thing in the prophecy at all. I mean, how could there be? This isn't normal. Her mind replays that memory from Cassidy and she saw yesterday, and she remembers what her mother said. She isn't normal and is pure evil. What do you mean? Everyone has heard about the prophecy. This must be in it somewhere, surely, he asked, surprised by her reaction. Cliffhanger. I know y'all like, Rick. Oh, yeah. I'm going to express when I read in the next few paragraphs will take you to the crisp of what's about to come. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I really do. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming as usual. It's nothing but respect, mad love, and I honor that. I have to say that at least once. Let me get some more of this tea. Oh goodness, it's hot. Oh, it's hot. I hope y'all really like that. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't noticed if anybody's done any videos or anything like that. I haven't been on here. I haven't been looking at nothing and all that. I have some videos I wanted to upload. I think I uploaded a couple today. I was more than enough. I don't want to go over the myriad and the drill of the same drama over and over. Yet I just want y'all to really look at the seriousness of it. You got militias, you got pale skins, racist training, you've got ex-special forces members, regardless of their dynamics, who are police and not police, and yet my people choose to remain arrogant, ignorant, and give all the excuses to be right with that. Though people have met me, you're always going to have the ones with the fake egos and the fake world endeavors and everything else who are going to run around as if they're supposed to be something special when they haven't even tapped into their true life, other than the fact that they're living accordingly to what the enemy has done without no knowledge as such. I might have 2 bedrooms, 1 bed. I got sofas down here. Air mattress is flat. The cat scratched it. I can get another one. I'm not buying another one because I want to sell everything. But we crashed like I did growing up. Adults and kids. We used to go down North Carolina, big old house, 5, 6 bedrooms, 3 stories, basement, attic. We crashed in the living room, in the bedrooms, on the floors, sleeping bags, blankets, quilts, the whole name. That's how we did it. Yet you can get 20 Mexicans in one house, and before you know it, they own 5 city blocks. You get a bunch of niggas, they want to be by themselves with their women, and then the same dribble and don't know how to do nothing except for want to do self-come-up as if they're doing something. And stay in bad, succubus relationships. I don't get you. And here you have the time of your life to make change. Not just oratorially, singularity-wise. So you become part of a circumference, a real one. And I shouldn't have to say this on here because now they're like, oh, we got something else. Well, I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me ramble on. And I really do. I would love to see you guys have a wonderful evening. Okay? Everybody out there still talking about we Indians, we this, we that. We're so much more. So I will continue to drop tea. And so, and hopefully the people will continue to research it and be able to put things together as some of the good brothers and sisters are doing. The few that have. And I don't know what's wrong with my SMS chatting, brothers. I put videos up. You ain't got to like it. Like it to support the brother, all right? So the stuff can go forward. Stop being so arrogant in your ignorance. It's not like I don't know who's liking on stuff, who's viewing, who's not viewing. I see everything. Y'all have a grand evening and make the best of this night and make better decisions. Time and patience, 2 most powerful weapons. Well, they really are. It's just what you do with your time and how much patience you have to accomplish whatever it is you acquire or set out to do.